All right, we are live. All right, folks, welcome back. So if you are in the software development industry, and let's say specifically a software engineer, software developer, front end, junior, associate, developer, trademark, it doesn't really matter, guys, what your position title is. This I know from personal experience. I know, well, not this specifically. Excuse me. Let me not get ahead of myself here. From personal experience, I know a few things, but one thing in particular that can exponentially raise your pay or raise the level or rate of which you are getting paid a lot faster. And I'll put it to you guys like this: like you can almost double your salary in like, let's say 5 to 10 years, going a specific route this way, as opposed to doing what you're traditionally supposed to be doing, or at least what you're traditionally told you're supposed to be doing. Oh, really? And in the host, based? Yes, base department. Cody Moose is in my host. Bume indeed. You guys like my tiny wine cup? Hello to you too, Kyle. What up? Or at least I'm a junior back-end front-end specialist engineer developer. Yeah, this would apply to that position too. In all honesty, guys, I can't say this for certain because I'm not in other fields, but I'm willing to bet that a lot of other adjacent fields are pretty similar. Cody, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I know, Cody, this is probably the same case for you and with infrastructure, and probably even as probably, Stu, this probably goes to game development too. It probably even goes all the way down to like tech support. I don't know if this is the case for accounting. I don't know, or if you're a doctor, but I'll tell you guys, we'll just start off with the most important, biggest one, because I'm not going to have a lot of time tonight, guys. I got to be somewhere in less than an hour, actually in less than like 30 minutes. So I'll get the first most important one out of the way, and then we'll talk a little bit about it in the second thing that I want to talk about as well. So your first 10 years, if you guys saw my previous stream about how everything is fake and something that starts with the G word, one of the things I said in there was that your first 10 years of your career, that can make or break you. And it seriously can. Maybe not so much break you, but you can miss out a lot on opportunity in your first 10 years if you don't play your pawn pieces on the chessboard the correct way, okay? So, number one, the most important thing that you can do, especially in your first 10 years, and honestly, maybe not so much after the first 10 years, but your first 10 years, is you should be actively looking for new jobs every 1 to 2 years, as opposed to staying in the same job at the same company and just expecting a pay increase. Okay, so let me share my screen with you guys and bust out a calculator here. Okay, we're gonna get all mathematic up in here. How big can you make the calculator on an Apple? Oh, not big at all. Come on, Steve. All right, if you guys can see the calculator, actually doesn't look too bad at all. Doesn't look too bad at all. Tiny Wines. Hey, have you ever seen that video of the Tiny Wines guy? I think it's really old. It's like 2 years old. Big Mac emojis in the chat. Fake and not great. Yes, fake and not great. Fake and not great. Okay. Let's say you start out as let's use Mr. Rillian's position here. Let's say you start out, guys, as a junior front end, a junior back end front end specialist, engineer, developer, pre-IPM design, et cetera, okay? Let's say that's what you're starting out as. And let's say that you're starting in that position. Let's say you just graduated college, right? You just graduated college and you're 22 years old. And let's do 2023. Let's do 2023 rates. You might be getting paid, I don't know, let's make it even $70,000 per year. So this is what you're currently getting paid, right? Now, are you guys, if you guys aren't familiar, you will be now. Basically, what you can expect, and in all honesty, guys, your first 1 to 2 years, if you're at the same company, you're probably not going to get a raise. You might. I did, but it was like a 1.5% raise, all right? Realistically speaking, guys, every year, every other year or so, most companies, good companies, are going to give you somewhere between a 1 to a 3% pay raise, all right? So what is 3% of 70,000? So they'll do point times 0.03. All right, so $2,100 you've gained in the first year, which you probably might actually take 2 or 3 years to do that. So, but let's be ultra liberal here, and let's just say 1 year. So now let's add 70,000 to that. So after 1 year, you're now making $2,100 more. And let's get to the second year, and by the way, that was a 3%. I didn't say 1% or 1.5. So I'm being very, very liberal here. Okay. So now let's say you go there for another year, and you get another 3% interest raise, or 3% raise, not 3% interest raise. So let's add that to 72,100. All right. So in 2 years, you made $4,263 extra per year. And so let me keep that number. Let me type the number in the chat, by the way, because I'm going to forget it. 74263. All right. Now let's actually take $4,263, and I'm not going to accommodate for taxes on this. Okay. I'm just going to pretend that taxes don't exist, even though they do, but we're being liberal here, right? Because I'm trying to make a point. We're being very liberal here. Because if taxes did exist and you did have to get taxed on this extra $4,000 a year, it would come out a lot different. So let's just say you get paid 2 times a month. And so we're going to divide this by, oh crap, I just lost it. 4,263. We're going to divide that by 12, and we're going to divide that by 2. So every paycheck, you'd be getting $177 extra. And if we're being really honest, we're at the taxes in the year. So 177 minus 35. You'd be making $142 extra per paycheck after 2 years of hard work. Okay, you'd be making $142 extra per paycheck. What can $142 per paycheck get you? That could get you 1 week's worth of groceries, I guess. I don't know, right? I think you guys get my point. Let's go to the third year. So what is our number count at now? Let's see. 7, 4, 2, 6, 3. And let's add another 3%. All right. So now let's add that to 7, 4, 2, 6, 3. All right. So after 3 years, if everything was perfect and you got 3% raise every single year, including your first year, within 3 years, 3 years time, you could be making $6,490 a year more than when you started. Okay. Now, if you were to have done 1, maybe 2 years at a place, you got your experience underneath your belt, you actually legitimately learned some good skills, you actually became a better engineer, and you went and interviewed at a new company, then you could interview at a place and you could be very well immediately off the bat making $100,000 per year. So, and you could do that in 2 years versus the 3 years where you'd be making $6,000 more. So what is $100,000 minus 75,000? That's a whopping 25 grand more that you've made by just going to another company. I mean, we could sit here and do this for 10 years, but I think you guys get the point, right? And maybe you don't get the point. What is the actual point here? The point is, back in the day, maybe when the boomers were around our age, when the boomers were in their late 20s, 30s, early 40s, whatever, there was more company loyalty. Company loyalty was I mean, I'm going to say even back then, it was more likely to be kind of like a misnomer. Maybe it was perceived company loyalty, but it was perceived at a higher level of deceit than it is nowadays. Okay. A lot of people saw during the coronavirus, maybe I shouldn't have said that, whatever. A lot of people saw during that time period that a lot of people lost jobs, and it was almost as if the company could care less about them. And how loyal is the company? Well, the truth is, guys, companies want you to be loyal to them and not vice versa, right? That actually happens to be true with a lot of things in life. But anyway, it was previously frowned upon to do what's called job hopping. But you guys know what? In 2020, I had one of the coolest managers ever when I was still a mid-level developer. And I talked to the guy. The company actually had gotten bought by another company. And I was only working for this company for 1 year. And I was talking to my manager because my manager actually was quitting and was going to another company. I think he had enough stock options to the company. He was like, all right, I've been here 20 years. I'm out. I'm kaput. Because to be honest with you guys, once a company buys another company out, the writing's kind of on the wall, and a lot of people can get fired, moved around. Stuff just goes wrong, right? Besides the point, I told him in like a one-on-one discussion about it. I was like, well, I mean, I just started working here, and this was maybe like year 5 into my career. And I was like, I just started working here. I'm kind of concerned that it might look bad on my resume that I've already been like 3 different places in 5 years. And he's like, Josh, I think in tech, everybody knows that's a common thing. I don't think it's as frowned upon as it used to be. And I think it's actually kind of like expected now. And this was like a 50-something-year-old dude. And I was like, huh. So if this old guy knows that, then I'm sure someone else thinks out there the same way. So the truth is, guys, the number one way you're going to make more money in your career as a software engineer, other than, moonlighting, having your own company, or what's probably the easiest thing to do is probably, make a rug pull in Web3. But anyway, besides doing all that, if you want to have a traditional stable job, that's the way to do it. First 10 years, you should have at least moved 3 different places in your first 10 years. And those three different places, you could have gotten $25,000 raises each time, if not more. In between, you might have gotten a little raise or 2. So that, honestly, guys, it's that simple. That is the number one secret to earning more money in the field of software. Cody says, yeah, I agree on the infrastructure side. Once you start hitting that upper salary range, though, you'd probably benefit from sticking around in one place as the all-knowing guy. Yeah, and that's the thing, too. That's why I say like 10 years after your 10th year, you're going to need some stability. You don't want to have to keep like moving your 401ks to different like custodians, and all this other bullshit. And at that point, once you are the all-knowing guy, like you'll probably get more than a 3% raise if they can afford it. You'll probably get bonuses, a lot of bonuses. And the biggest thing that you can get is once you're kind of in that position, if it's not like a complete, like the office type of job, honestly, guys, if you are providing value at your level and people need you, and if something that is needed to be done is done, you can kind of fuck off. And like, honestly, you can like haze other people and be like, yo, no, you junior, why don't you do it instead? Jaw Watt said, what if they ask why you job hop constantly? Yeah, so that's the thing. And in all honesty, John, during an interview, if someone asks you that, that's them trying to frame you as like, are you going to be a good corporate slave? That I would say that might actually be a red flag. That might actually be a red flag for them to actually say that. But people have asked me that before in an interview. You know what you say? You just tell them the story. Like, hey, yeah, after 2 years, I got contacted via email about this new opportunity in this great new city. And it was like $25,000 a year more. It was a cool new tech stack. And I thought it was a great opportunity. I just couldn't say no. I couldn't say no. I thought it'd be a good opportunity, not just for me and my family. Just lying so that you have a family. Be like, I got 10 kids I got to feed. And if they're going to tell you, because here's the thing, man. If a place is going to try to put you down for being advantageous and taking good opportunities where you're going to get paid more, I mean, what does that tell you about the place? And yeah, Rillian's right. It's somewhat not an issue in tech. I will say though, like if you have been working as an engineer for 3 years and you've worked at 10 places, so like every 2 months you're switching place, something's fucking wrong, right? Something's definitely wrong. Yeah, that raise might get you 1 extra Big Mac. Harry Maguire Jr. in house. What's up, man? Dude, I haven't seen a C-level guy get sacked. Yeah. Oh, I've even seen a C-level guy get sacked? Well, so here's the thing. Like a lot of like CEOs and people in the C-suite positions, they'll move around and reverberate from company to company. So like it doesn't matter if they get sacked. They still got like the $2 million of equity in the company. They're out, But I think you know what you're talking about. You're talking about during the COOF. Yeah. I mean, dude, yeah, there is no company loyalty, man. There is no company loyalty at all. It is what it is. Most people switch companies / studios after a game ships. This has to be normal since the early 2000s in game dev. Yeah. And don't they like, Stu, correct me if I'm wrong, don't a lot of the game studios like try to like prey off of other studios' quality engineers. They like try to like go and like and take them, right? Especially after like they know they're gonna get left from another place or let off. They try to go in and like swoop the good competition. Aurelian says, since the cash is going to shit, what's the least volatile thing to put my monies into? I mean, everything's volatile right now, man. Fuck. I mean, what is Bitcoin right now? Like 26K? Is it recovered from a couple days ago? Coinmarketcrap.com. Yeah, Bitcoin is 20. Let's take a look at the corn, you guys. Take a look at the good old corn. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's 26. Damn, this is a good price on ETH, son. Holy cannoli. Yo, BNB's been a beast this whole fucking bear market. I can't believe how good BNB's been doing. I don't know, man. I mean, people will call me crazy. I still think if your prospective is I'm looking at this 2, 3, 4 years from now, I mean, Bitcoin is a fairly safe bet. Mathematically speaking, it's just I mean, other than that, you can put in the S&P 500 because it's going to be somewhat correlated, right? Aurelian says, LOL, company loyalty has been dead since the 90s. Yeah, if not even before that, man. A lot of ghost jobs now, too. Okay, Harry, what do you mean by that? Because I know of two different type of ghost jobs. One thing I can think of that you're saying is like where these companies post positions to make it look like they're hiring, but they're actually not. And it's kind of like a ghost to make them look good. And then two is when you apply to a place and they don't even give you like an automated email saying that you weren't moved on to the next round or whatever. Lay off the dev team right after release. Yeah. Classic. Yes, they poach all the time. Poaching. Also, people get laid off on projects and not as bad as 10 years ago because of a live service games. What up, Eli? Good to see you, man. That's why devs make live service games, even though players don't prefer them. Stable jobs are nice. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, has the job garden gotten better yet? I don't know. There was an article that's the next stream that I'm going to talk about because we got to do another current like state of the job market in tech. I don't think so. I mean, did you see the fucking Aurelian? If you look in the developer direction chat, if you scroll up from like a few days ago, I have this picture. I have this picture already on my desktop. Hold on. Where is this thing? Maybe it's gone. Anyway, it was a junior front end developer position that was open for 10 hours. Like they just posted this thing 10 hours ago. 3,176 applicants. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Web3 has been quiet lately. It's a good sign, in my opinion. The email was hilarious from the chat. Yeah, that one was pretty funny too. That one was pretty funny. All right, guys. So what's the next thing other than just like, because I already gave you guys the cheat code. All right, y'all already got the cheat code, right? The next thing that I think is actually important, but more important in a different way is staying relevant and learning new things. Not that archaic C++ developers aren't still needed to like write software for nuclear reactors, okay? Because they still are. And they're probably never going to fucking... Guys, they'll probably drag all this really archaic C and C++ code that's running a lot of the technological infrastructure in the United States and the world. They're probably going to drag that shit out for another 30 more years before they have to like completely redo everything. It's probably going to cost them millions of dollars. Not that doing that doesn't keep you relevant or because it doesn't keep you relevant. It actually doesn't keep you relevant. Not that that's a bad thing. Not that you can't still get jobs with that. But guys, what's JavaScript today is going to be Bleepboard script tomorrow. If you pigeonhole yourself into one tech stack, into one corner of your skill set, that's all you got is you got a toolbox and you just got one 13 millimeter socket. Thank God at least a 13 millimeter socket because you'll never be able to find one otherwise. But If that's all you got, well, then like what happens if people are looking for 10mm sockets or 9mm sockets and so on and so forth? You guys get the drift. And tech changes so much and so fast. There's always the coolest, newest hoop-de-doopy buzzword. I mean, fuck, the government's always trying to like build new stuff on new tech that shouldn't be built on new tech because they just want to like be like, hey, we got to do it. If you can do that, then your availability to make those job hops is going to be much, much greater. Are you still running Guava Labs in Minecraft? Of course, trademark. Yes, we're actually doing we're calling it legal parse, but we're doing some software for some lawyer people to do some the current project we're working on for some people in a law office to scan like rental documents and shit from up in New York, which we just got started on it, but it should be done by November. But yes, that's obviously I'm only doing that in Minecraft though. Erling says how to stay relevant when there's 1 bazillion hex new JavaScript React so it has money every week. I mean, one thing so on the inverse of that, most of those people don't know shit about actual like most of those people wouldn't know like if you gave them some like true blue object oriented programming, if you gave them some C#, they wouldn't have to do. They just they'd step all over their dicks. So if you can have different exposures to different areas, which I know you do because you're working on a full stack application that's like a .NET based application. If you can do that instead of just, hey, I'm just React or hey, I'm just doing this, that's gonna be much better. And if you can find a job that you can work on a tech stack like that, that's going to be an extra bonus to you. And if you can't find a job, then you got to build projects outside of the job itself, you know? Games will keep C++ around. Rust might take C++ place in games or Python since it started. I mean, I love Rust, dude, but God, I can't be fucked to really build anything with it, man. I really can't. I'm not going to lie. And anything that I have the ability to build in Rust, it's going to be overly complicated by using Rust. Like if I actually had to build a game, I'd probably choose Rust. I probably would choose Rust and be like, hey, this seems like it's one of the best things that I know that I could use. But aside from that, I mean, like I don't want to be doing like you know array buffers, reading like PDFs into an array buffer in Rust. It just doesn't make sense for me to use that. But Rust is a really good community. I don't know if you guys noticed, whenever I did those Rust tutorials, I gained like 200 subscribers because there's like Rust is a huge community and there's like nobody on YouTube. Guys, I saw some video the other day. Fuck, guys. It was like a shitty thumbnail. Rust newest thing. Let me see if I can find this. This must have been like a day or this might have even been this morning. I can't find it, guys. There was some video. It was a Rust video and it was on my YouTube home screen. And it was like the crappiest thumbnail. Not that my thumbnails are good or anything. I've been using AI to make my thumbnails recently. It was the crappiest thumbnail. It looked like it was written. The thumbnail was made in like Microsoft Paint. It was like a day old video and it had 1 million views. And it was the title was like the newest thing in Rust. Like that was it. Like the newest thing in Rust. Rust is implementing this one simple new thing. And that might have been like one of the only channels talking about Rust. So Rust has a good community, and because it has a good community, maybe it might start taking C++ in space in C++'s place in game dev, but I don't know. I don't know. I like SQL. Hope that keeps me employed for the next decade. Yeah, SQL maxing, bro. SQL maxing for real. Hey, SQL's underrated, man. You'd be surprised at how many jobs. I mean, I know you wouldn't because you've seen Erling. You've seen how many people in the group have like lost job interviews because of SQL, like specifically just SQL. But bro, Rust plus WebAssembly, just build your Rust web app already. GPU, APIs, hardware control language, and use the game. Yeah. All right, guys, I got to scram. I got to be somewhere. I'm going to be late. So I'm out, guys. I will see you guys on Friday, not Thursday. Friday. Bye.